Have you experienced the stress, the anxiety, the burnout, the sheer analysis paralysis that comes along with being a perfectionist? Yeah, me too. So let's tap on it. Hi, if we've never met, my name is Liz. I'm a certified EFT practitioner with a background in holistic nutrition, and I help you release things like anxiety and self-sabotaging behavior with the magic of EFT and nervous system regulation so you can finally feel confident in your full potential. Okay, so we've all been there where we haven't done the thing, finished the thing because we want it to be perfect. We need it to be perfect. We need ourselves to be perfect, even though you and I both know that perfect and perfection doesn't really exist. We have created this impossible expectation for ourselves, and it is exhausting. I know that some people would argue that it's a good thing because you're always striving for perfection, but the reality is it's just slowing you down, it's burning you out, and it is limiting your creative potential. So let's explore this all today with the tapping session. I want you to start by finding a comfortable seated position and take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to say to yourself, it has to be perfect, or I have to be perfect, whichever statement resonates the most and feels the most true for you in this moment. And when you've picked your statement, I want you to rate it on a scale of believability from a 0 to 10. So what that means is, how true does this statement feel for me right now? If I say to myself, I have to be perfect, and I believe it 100% to be true, then I'm going to rate that statement as a 10. And if I believe it kind of, sort of, but not really, maybe I'll rate it a 5. And if I don't believe it at all, then it would be a 0. If you can, just make quick note of that somewhere so you don't forget your rating. And we're going to start tapping at the side of the hand, so you can tap where I tap and repeat after me. Okay. Even though I have this deep desire for everything, including myself, to be perfect, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I don't feel safe to make a mistake or be anything less than perfect, I choose to accept myself even with these feelings. One last time at the side of the hand, even though I sometimes feel paralyzed by my need for things to be perfect, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Moving to the top of the head. I constantly worry that I'm not perfect enough. Eyebrow. I don't feel safe to make a mistake. Side of the eye. If I'm not perfect, what would other people think or say? Under the eye. If I'm not perfect, then I leave myself open to criticism, to judgment. Under the nose. And I'm not okay with that. I don't want to fail. Under the mouth. Part of me just doesn't want to carry this weight of having to be perfect anymore. Collarbone. But another part of me feels like it's impossible to let it go. Under the arm. That critical voice inside my head just won't let me relax. Wrist. I can't relax unless everything is perfect and right and just as it should be. Okay, moving back to the top of the head. And for this next section, you don't need to repeat after me. I am going to guide you through some prompts, and I just want you to focus on whatever it is that's coming up for you. An eyebrow. I want you to gently explore where your perfectionism might be stemming from. If something immediately pops up for you, that's great. But it's also okay if nothing pops up. Another question you can ask yourself to get at this is, how old am I? When you're thinking about the need to be perfect, how old am I? Side of the eye. Often perfectionism is rooted in our childhood. Maybe we needed to appease our parents or caregivers to feel love, to feel safe, to feel accepted. Maybe even our community conditioned us to believe that making a mistake would inherently lead to something bad happening. Maybe you were taught to believe that your worth was tied into what you achieved. Under the eye, just letting whatever needs to come up do so without judgment. And I know that that part can be hard, but we're simply noticing what's coming up for us right now. Under the nose, I invite you to ask yourself what your perfectionism is saving you from. Ultimately, when we engage in self-sabotaging behaviors, which really is what perfectionism is, it is a subconscious way for us to soothe our nervous system to help it feel safe, or to fulfill a need that we have that we might not even realize we have. Maybe in this case, it's protecting you from judgment or criticism or failure. Maybe it's protecting your need to belong, for acceptance, for praise. Maybe it's even creating a need for control in your life. Whatever it is, just letting an answer come to you naturally. Under the mouth. If you release this need to be perfect, this perfectionism, what would happen? Collarbone. We will stay here just for a few moments just to kind of reflect on that question. If I wasn't perfect, or if I made a mistake, then what? Let your subconscious mind fill in the answer for you. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Good job. Moving to under the arm, knowing that whatever is coming up for you right now is okay. You are safe in this moment. And you're safe to feel whatever it is that you need to feel. Wrist. Why don't I feel safe to make a mistake? Or to create something that is not perfect? Why do I allow flaws to exist in other people, but not myself? To the top of the head. If you were able to release perfectionism, who would you be? How would you act? What would you say, think, create? And notice any resistance that comes up to that picture. Again, not judging the resistance. Eyebrow. Maybe you resist the idea of letting perfectionism go because it means you would have to do something. Like take action on a project maybe, or put yourself out there. The side of the eye. Again, noticing any resistance without judgment. We are just acknowledging our own inner truth, the truth of how we really feel. Under the eye. I'm inviting you now to the understanding and the knowledge that any self-sabotaging behavior, such as perfectionism, is rooted in the nervous system. Okay? And it is there to keep you safe. This behavior may have once served you or kept you safe, so there's no need to be upset with yourself or critical of having this tendency. Under the nose. Acknowledging that part of you that has kept you safe all these years. Under the mouth. while also acknowledging that this behavior is no longer serving you. Collarbone. Taking a few deep breaths here, processing anything that's come up. Under the arm, giving your body permission to relax and to release. Wrists. For this next round, we're actually going to switch back to repeating after me, okay? If you're comfortable and you feel ready to introduce positive statements, that's what we'll be doing. And if not, if you don't feel like you're ready to accept kind of an alternative point of view, then you can stop the video right here, okay? Back to the top of the head. Even though a part of me knows that it is impossible to be perfect, another part of me just can't let go trying. And I'm tired. And that's okay. Eyebrow. I'm open to the idea of accepting myself just as I am. Perfectionist tendencies and all. Side of the eye. But I'm also open to the idea that maybe not everything has to be perfect all of the time. Under the eye. To giving myself grace that I give so freely to others. In the face of their mistakes, flaws, and shortcomings. Under the nose. I'm open to the idea that not only is it safe to make mistakes, but that I can learn amazing lessons from them. And that if I'm not out there making mistakes, I'm probably also not living to my full potential. Under the mouth. Today I choose to focus on progress over perfection. Collarbone. That it is better to get something done imperfectly than not at all. Confident that I can always go back and revise and make changes whenever I need to. Under the arm. I choose to love and accept all parts of myself, even the imperfect ones. And so it is. Okay, take a deep breath in and out. Great job today. I encourage you, as always, to just maybe take a minute right after this tapping session to jot down anything that might have come up for you, especially if you remembered a past event or you knew like a specific situation where you felt like you needed to be perfect. If we work through and clear these events one by one, we can break and dismantle this belief that we have where it's not safe to be imperfect or it's not safe to make mistakes, and we can feel more confident moving forward and taking messy action. Feel free to come back and use this tapping meditation as often as you need. I wish you nothing but the best. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Happy tapping.